I have a rising fourth grader, and the summer is coming. Teachers are telling me about summer learning loss, and I am worried that my child will fall behind. We could homeschool teach this summer, but we have jobs, and we aren't teachers. We could hire tutors, but those costs can be very high. I want my child to have fun, but I don't want my child to fall behind. If there's only a way to get my child some early exposure to the next grade, especially in math.
Summer learning loss is real, but it doesn't have to be your reality. We have an advantage for you. The Math Advantage Camp is designed to provide an early exposure in math for rising 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students. Through short, daily, creative instructional videos, we provide a focus on skills and content to give your child an advantage in the next grade. And we realize that your child may have other camps that may provide an activity and an enjoyable summer. Our 30-day curriculum is designed to provide your child with the ability to complete the camp with ease. It also allows your child to learn at their pace. What's better, your child will have the access to materials for an entire year. See the link below for more information and registration. Early registration ends March 15th.
All right, greetings everyone. We are back. It is Tuesday. In fact, it is Tuesday. This is February 2nd or 22nd, 2022, 2/22/22. So we're paying attention to that. It is Tuesday, and I'm glad you're here with us. Quick announcement before I go further. Starting next week, we will be moving to Wednesday evenings, 7 o'clock. Same time, just different day, 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. Would love for you to be able to join us, see us there. But that is going to be our new start date. Our new date going forward is going to be on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. This time, place, same platform, same ideas, topics, flowing, things like that. But starting next week, we will be on Wednesdays rather than Tuesdays. So hope you all can join us there. We look forward to having you. I am Dr. Derek Robinson, lead consultant for My Advantage Career and Consulting Services. I teach and help prepare pre-dissertation students to advance through their journey. And I not only do that through the actual physical act of writing and preparing and being studious and things like that, I actually also do it through helping survive and helping navigate the process. And also on the other end of it, I also help with doctoral students as they progress through their navigation journey and then moving into higher education. I have a complete package that helps you actually navigate the job market and move forward in that. And you'll see some information about that coming in a few months. I have a couple of clients that I'm presently helping put together their entire package. Now, you've probably heard of the faculty market and things like that and how tough it is and all the things you need. And yes, you'll get all of that too. But I have some additional niches that you can actually use to put your whole package together so that when people are looking for you, you get a targeted message that you're sending to the world about your seriousness, about your fit, about your ability to come into higher education and hit the ground running. So check us out in the next coming weeks about this kind of information as we navigate the job market. And as you may know, or you may not, the seasonal job market for higher education faculty positions really kicks back into swing for next year, starting this coming August. And you need to be prepared by then. So my program, My Assistance, helps you get prepared for that and helps you move through this process as you go. So in beginning this, we'll transition quickly. I have a 7-point plan for writing literature reviews, and I will send you all and post the actual information where you can get this 7-point plan. You can download it for free, cost you nothing. All you got to do is follow the link, and they'll get your free 7-point plan for writing literature reviews coming to you. So make sure you are able to get that. So I'll have the information for that shortly. You'll be able to take advantage of that. So tonight's topic. Tonight's topic works with reading and noting. And these are just secrets, key secrets for reading research material. So some of this is going to be a review of sessions we've had before. So I'll point you in the right direction so you can get those informations before. But then I add to this an added secret. And I'm ashamed that I'm even giving this away, but I have added secrets I want to share with you that can actually help you as you navigate through writing literature reviews and planning your reading and writing and how to properly take notes. As you read 40 or 50 peer-reviewed journal articles, please note that those will be about 30 pages a pop. So I want you to be able to get the best out of the information, and that you're able to take that, extract that information, and then move it forward in your work. So please note that this is designed to put you in a better position that you may be able to navigate through this correctly. So I want you to pay attention to that. I'll get that information to you, things like that. But we're going to talk initially about this whole idea of reading and noting. And before I do that, of course, I have to give a shout out to the Bougie Shootery, bougieshootery.com, www.bougieshootery.com. I got to get my banners going so you can see that actually running at the bottom screen. You'll see that there, Bougie Shootery, BOUGIECUTERIE.com. And you'll also find Jacqueline Robinson of Bougie Shootery on every social media platform under the name Bougie Shootery. She does custom charcuterie boxes, cups, and other products, able to ship products if you like, but visit bougieshootery.com and find time to make your events right. We do large parties. She does individual boxes. So either way you want to have it, she's available for you to give you the materials that you need so that you can enjoy fine charcuterie at a reasonable price. So once again, visit bougieshootery.com and enjoy the products that she creates. Now, in understanding reading and noting, where have we already been? What do you already know? If you have been following and listening to my segments on the doctoral journey with Derek, then you've covered some of these items before. So I want to bring them back up. I'm not going to reteach them, but I will make sure I package certain clips that you can see on your own and then be able to follow and keep up with us. So the first topic is understanding the types of journal articles. The types of journal articles, because they dictate how you read them. So whether you're looking at a qualitative article, a quantitative article, or a literature or theoretical paper, you need to know those types of papers in order that you may be able to actually participate, read, and extract the right information that you may be able to do quality work from it. So understanding the types of journals you are disposed to and what you can read will help you tremendously as you navigate through writing your literature reviews. And once again, gathering literature, reading literature, analyzing literature, writing literature is all part of the writing process. So do not think because you're not writing that you're not engaged in the writing process. Reading those literature articles, gathering notes from them, analyzing those notes, organizing those notes are all part of the writing process. And if you see it as different things, you may be missing the mark. And that can improve your efficiency by having you just be able to see it the right way. You'll find this in episode 8.5 in the doctoral journey with Derek. And I'll make sure that link is available for you when I resend this out. But once again, it's episode 8.5 or part 5 of episode 8 that covers the types of peer-reviewed journal articles that you come across that you're going to need to know and gather and extract information. The next item that we've already covered that I want to point you in the direction of is skimming. Once you have these articles, knowing how to read them, where to apply the deep read, where to apply the light skim, the medium skim, and things like that are going to help you tremendously. These articles are not that you're reading these on a beach chair, enjoying your summer break. You're in this reading for a strategy to extract information out. And in doing so, you have to have a strategy by which you read. And once again, it's levels of skimming. So whether you're doing a light skim, a medium skim, or a deep read, you need to know that. You can find this information in episode 8.3. We covered a lot of stuff in episode 8. But in episode 8.3 is about how to read and skim the articles and knowing the right parts to read and skim to save you time, to make you more efficient, and to extract the right information. If you do a deep read on the wrong information, you could be telling us stuff that other people have told us already, and you could endanger yourself with a little bit of what we call plagiarism. So knowing where to extract the information and how to extract it, how to read, saves you time, energy, and sanity as you navigate through this process. The last part of what we should already know walking into this, and I'm going to elaborate on this a little further, is establishing a reading routine. And what I mean by establishing a reading routine is not a routine that has you go absolutely hard every day with daily goals that are almost impossible to reach, and then more discouraging and encourages more procrastination, but having you actually plan things out better so that you can be able to see the idea, but also plan for the flexibility. You may be having an off day one day, and you may not get your 5 articles read. One, you shouldn't be doing 5 articles in a day, but but you shouldn't have to put yourself under that kind of a gun. But you should have some flexibility that you can have an off day where you read 1 article and an on day where you could read 3, and then be able to extract information. We'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. But this section actually comes from episode 8.6. Episode 8, part 6, about establishing a reading routine. Once again, I'll put that link available for you so that you can access this when I put this out on social media in the coming days. But make sure you have those 3 things, types of journal articles, light skims, medium skims, and deep reads, and then establishing a routine, a reading routine. That's episode 8.5, 8.3, and then 8.6. That's what we've already covered. And you are free to go back at any point in time and then find those pieces and then get up on those pieces so that you can then do the next step that I have for you. So before we do that and move on to the establishing a reading routine, which is what I do want to enforce to you today, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Ramon Goings and the Done Dissertation. You can find them at www.thedonedissertation.com. Please check him out. He has been successful in moving, if you're in the dissertation stage, he has been successful in moving people along and getting them to graduate and get their dissertation done. Not just a done dissertation, but a dissertation that you can be proud of. A dissertation that you know you put the actual effort into. I didn't discover till later on that a lot of people were actually doing some backdoor dissertations and finding cheap way outs and things like that as a means by which to just get a done dissertation. He's not about that. You actually put in the quality work, but he gives you the curriculum, the strategies, the motivation, and he stays on top of you so that you can actually get your work done in record time. He has a book out called The 14 Secrets to a Done Dissertation, and I encourage all of you, check it out. Check him out. Check out his webpage, check out his social media. You can either find it on Done Dissertation on all social media platforms, or you can just find Dr. Ramon Goings and shoot him a quick DM and say, hey, I heard of you from my advantage, from the doctoral dissertation, the doctoral journey with Derek, and I'm interested in figuring this out. I'm coming up on my dissertation period, or I'm in and I'm lost. He is a person who can throw you the life raft if you're lost. So once again, Dr. Ramon Goings, the Done Dissertation. You can find him at www.thedonedissertation.com and check out his services. It's worthwhile. He has plenty of testimony to prove that. So the next part of this we want to talk about is establishing a reading routine. If you do not have a reading routine, I really want to ask you how you're doing it. How you getting along, or are you getting along? Your reading routine cannot be random. It cannot be something you do when you get a certain urge or feeling. It has to be strategic. It has to be well thought out. In order to do that, you have to know and establish this routine. I'm going to give you 3 essential principles to think about. First is making time for reading. You have to actually make time for reading. It is a thing that has to be done. Second thing is setting weekly rather than daily goals. Weekly goals are more accomplishable. Daily goals are a setup for procrastination and defeat. And the third part 3, is plan according to your energy levels. And what your energy levels are is going to be of utmost importance. So planning according to your energy levels. So let's review the 3 before we dive deep. First is making time for reading. Second is setting weekly rather than daily goals for reading. And third is planning according to your reading energy levels. And you have to know what your energy levels is. And part of this I can't give you. You got to know your body clock. So let's dive first to the first thing, make time for reading. First, know the type of environment that you need to read. If you're one who reads in the bed laying down, and I've tried that, if you can do that without falling asleep, then that works for you. Know that that's your environment that you need for reading. Some people need white noise in the background. If you know that that's who you are, then plan that in your reading environment. If you need absolute silence, that's me, then create the environment that you need. That's a key point. When you know the type of environment that you can read in, create that environment. Don't let that environment be chance. Don't let that environment be, okay, I'm going to sit on the couch or sit at the dinner table, start reading, and my kids come running through, and next thing you know, I can't concentrate. Or I have Maury on or something else on, and that information is so salacious that I got to pay attention to that too. And then 20 minutes later, you're back at the second sentence. Don't create an environment that is not conducive to your reading needs. So find that environment, know the type of environment you need, and then actively create that environment. The last part of this making time for reading is actually blocking time to read according to your energy level. So say, for example, you're working all day, but there's a period of time when you have high energy that you don't have a lot to do. And you can go into your office, shut everything out, and then block out time. That is an environment you created in order to do your reading. So once you have that and you're in that particular situation, I want you to think of this. One article is equivalent to 1 hour of reading. You can do some in about 30 to 45 minutes, sure. But given everything, I want you to look at this as 1 hour equals 1 article. I'm a slower reader than most, so I have to be very strategic. I have to be very thoughtful about how I read. But when I go into it, it is generally that idea of 1 article equals 1 hour. And doing that, if you can block out 2 to 3 hours daily, you can knock out 2 to 3 articles of reading. I'm going to suggest that you never do more than 3 articles, and I'll explain in a few minutes why. Now, once you've made time for reading, you've created that environment for reading, and you understand the principle of 1 article equals 1 hour. Then what you need to do is set your weekly goals for reading, not daily goals, weekly goals. Now, why would I opt for a weekly goal rather than a daily goal? One, it allows for your flexibility, and it allows for you to have an off day. If you do not plan an off day into your life, then you're not planning realistically. Anything can happen. You could be reading in your office and a fire alarm goes off. Well, then it blew you for the day. You could be reading in your office, someone busts through. You could be working from home and you get a call that you got to go pick your kids up. You could get anything going on. You could actually get lost in Facebook, and that could throw your whole day off. Or anybody who comes along with a text or email with their bad news, remember, the people on the other side of that text or the other side of that email thinks you're home doing nothing, waiting for them to call you or contact you. So they hit you with some news and you open up the email and now your mind is blown. You've lost that day. Well, plan for that. Plan for that. Actually allow that level of flexibility, as long as it's not your daily routine. If it's your daily routine to get distracted like that, reevaluate your life. Figure out what you can cut out and what you don't need to cut out, and then get everyone understanding that this block of time is mine. You can contact me after noon. So if your time is from 9 to noon, you block that out. Tell everyone else, Prior to 9 in the afternoon, that's when you contact me. But in this block of time, it belongs to me. So, or just turn your phone off. That's also another solution if you want to think about it. Turn your phone off. But what this allows you to do, if you actually plan this way, and you're looking at a weekly goal, and you can do 2, maybe 3 articles a day, you can get anywhere from about 14 to maybe 18 articles done in a week. That's good. It's not excellent. It's not beautiful. You should get more than that, but I don't want you to stress yourself more. 14 to 18 articles a week to be read and noted and all of that, you're on an excellent trajectory to get work done. So just put yourself at that discipline. It's as simple as I've explained it. If you can block your time and create the environment that you need, you can easily get 12 to 14 articles done per week. Try not to exceed 3 articles in a day. And here's why. At some point in time, your energy is going to drain. So I'm not worried about how you do your first article and your second article. Your energy was there for those. Your third article, your energy is draining and your ability to extract information may be a little weaker. Definitely by that 4th article and 5th article, you're probably not getting much out of it because you're drained. Move on to another activity. Do 2 a day max. Try not to exceed 3. Only exceed 3 or do 3 if you have procrastinated a few other days and you can put the energy to actually do the 3rd article with just as much fidelity as you did article number 1. That's the routine you should be on. It's not over the top where you start losing information and forgetting information, and you're not underperforming where you're not getting everything you should be getting. But 2 articles a day, no more than 3, is a good sweet spot to be in. If you can do 3 articles a day for 7 days, you're at 21 articles. I'm asking you to do 14 to 18, which means you can actually lose a day and still be okay. So if you did 6 days a week at 3 articles a day, you're still at 18 articles. You know, if you lose 2 days and you do 3 articles at 5 days a week, you're still at 15. So you have the flexibility with this plan. Work it. The third part of this is planning according to your energy levels. Now, if you've heard me before talk about energy levels, you know this. There are times of the day where you have high energy and you have low energy. There are activities you can do at each point, but what you do not want to do is do a high energy activity when you have low energy, because you will not do it well. And you don't want to waste time by doing low energy activities in moments where you have high energy, because here's the deal. All of your energy drains at the same speed. So if you do low energy activities when you have high energy, it's going to drain at the same speed that it would if you were doing a high energy activity. So you're wasting time. Look at energy like gas in a car. If you're going 60 miles an hour, your gas is going to drain. And if you're doing 30 miles an hour, your gas is still going to drain. It's just going to drain twice as slow. But if you're applying the right level of energy to the right activity, then you get a proper drainage. The energy is going to drain. The gas is going to drain no matter what. You're just going to stop at a different time, depending on how much you put into it. But you're still going to drain your energy. So keep it like that. Understand, low energy activities include things like gathering articles. You can do that without thinking a lot. Planning which articles to read for the next day doesn't take a whole lot. Entering references on your reference page. You should have a running reference page of all the articles that you're reading. Trust me, do that up front. Do not wait to the back end to get it done. And then things like reviewing previous notes. You can look through your notes from previous articles you read to kind of stay up on the topic. That's a low energy activity. It doesn't take a stretch to get that done. High energy activities are things like reading, note-taking, and writing. Those things are actual things you have to do. So the way I've designed it is this. If you're a morning person like me, the night before, do your low energy activities in preparation for the morning. And then in the morning, you can jump right into your high energy activities and just keep going until you're out. And when you're out, acknowledge that you're out, shut it down. And then when you get your low energy activities, you then do the preparation for the next high energy activity. If you're a night person, then do your low energy activities in the morning or afternoon. And then in the evening, when you have high energy, knock it out. Handle your high energy activities. What you should not do is actually do low energy and high energy activities together. So if you forget to prepare last night, and then you wake up in the morning and you're a morning person, and you start doing low energy activities first, please remember, energy drains at the same rate. So by the time you finish all those low energy activities, regardless of the level of activity they were, you're still going to be drained by the time you get to your high energy activities. So let's say, for example, you got 3 hours of high energy, and you spend the first hour doing low energy activities. You set yourself up to do less than, because if you start at 8 and by 11 you're tapped out, you're still going to be tapped out at 11. Even if you do low energy activities for the first hour, it doesn't change. You're going to be tapped out at 11. You just did 2 hours of real work when you could have done that energy last night at low energy times, and then maximize all 3 of those hours for high energy activity. Simple as that. Know your energy levels, and then know how to align activities to those energy levels. Now, with that said, I want to take this moment to give a shout out to a former student of mine. I had him like in 1994. This young man was dynamic. He started a podcast called Conversations with Lamp. His name is James Lampkin. Former student of mine, had him back in 1994, I said, Suitland High School, Prince George's County, Maryland. Great guy. Got him. He was a sports fanatic. He not was just a sports fanatic. He knew the game. He knew statistics. He knew the people. He knew all of that. If you engaged him in sports trivia, he'd run laps around you. He somewhere along the line latched on to history, and then got into what we call Black Pursuits with Miss Melanie Caldwell, rest in peace. Dynamic educator, mentor of mine, architect of my teaching style. But she got him into Black Pursuits, and they did a marvelous job with that. They were champions. They were crushing people. We'd go to their events and watch them just dismantle students, but he was part of that. He's taken his knowledge of history and his love of social justice and activity and things like that, and has really made a great, powerful podcast he calls Conversations with Lamp. I encourage you to check him out. Dynamic guy, dynamic information. You'll definitely learn from listening to him, and he has some excellent people on. So please, once again, investigate your time into Conversations with Lamp. Now, my next part of this is called noting. Now that you know how to read and you know how to get the information out, is what you do with the information now. Once you've got the information extracted, that's going to make the difference. So in noting, I should say, the first basis of your noting is what we call developing article cards. And this is a major part of my writing literature review section. It's a lot deeper than what I'm going to give you. So I don't mind giving you this part, because even in giving you this part, there's so much more that you need to know about them. So what are article cards? Article cards are a form of strategic note-taking. Essentially, the purpose is to extract the key findings only in an article and then make cards about them. And why do you need to do that? It enables you to get through articles faster with more information retained. If you're going in with the purpose of just extracting the key findings, and key findings ain't just 1 or 2 things, but you're going in extracting the key findings of an article. You then get that information done faster, and then it involves enacting a coding system so that you can organize that information. So you're not just getting the articles, having them on some note cards or a notebook or using some software, things like that. Software can never cover what this process gives you. In fact, every flaw in a software program you have, whether it's Deduce and Vivo and all of those, every flaw in those programs is covered in what we're talking about today, article cards. Now, another part of what article cards are is that they help you to actually target your readings. You focus primarily on the findings, discussions, and conclusions. That doesn't mean you don't read everything else. Remember, in 8.3, we talk about how to skim an article and how to read an article. So you're still doing your light skims, your medium skims, and your deep reads, but you're extracting the information out of your deep reads. So article cards help you target those readings. It also helps you create key vocabulary and critical concepts, particularly if you're new in the field. If you're emerging as a scholar and you don't know all of the vocabulary and the acronyms and all that stuff out there, there's information you can put on cards to help you know those. So there's actual article cards that are dedicated to you really grasping the key concepts of this research area, because you're looking to become an expert in that area. So you need to know all this said, the key words, the language used in this article. So you're going to have to actually make that work for you. So that's the second part of this. Article cards help you target your readings. The third part is that article cards are coded and ordered for you to be interchangeable and for interchangeable use that you can ultimately return back to its original form. So in each article card set, and I'll talk about what a set is in a minute, but each article card set, you'll actually number the articles that you have for that article card set, for that article, and you can then mix them up. But when you have to go back to putting them back in order, because they're coded in such a way, you can then bring them back. And there are three aspects to the code. Well, actually, 4 or 5 aspects to the code. The first is that the card has at least 4 elements. It has an article number. The article number is the number of that particular article in your research study. So if you've gathered 50 articles and you're dealing with the 32nd article, then it's coded as article 32. And then it has an article number or article general topic or title. And that's the general area that you're researching. For example, if I'm studying leadership mindfulness and I'm dealing with the 32nd of my 50 some articles, then I know I'll see a code 32, leader mindfulness, and then there's another piece to that. The other piece of that is then your card number, which again is then article 32, leader mindfulness, card number 6. And if you have, let's say, 18 cards in this particular article that you've done, then although they're spread out on a table or something like that, when you have to assemble them back together, it's bringing them together, put them first by the article number, and then assemble them in their order as needed. But that's a simple way of being able to use your cards interchangeably, but then also have them come back to the original form so you can use them over and over again in perpetuity. And once you do an article card set, they're yours for good. You don't have to redo them, things like that. And another important thing is that the first card on every article card set is a reference, an APA reference. So you always have the APA reference at hand, and it actually becomes a dominant part of that particular article card set that you're using. So now that I said that, what is an article card set? Article card set is extremely simple, and I'll get to that in a quick minute. I do have a quick announcement. Part of my Advantage Career and Consulting Services is a project that we're doing helping out rising 4th, 5th, and 6th graders through what we call our Math Advantage Camp. Presently, we're looking for teachers. So if you're a teacher who is competent in math curriculum, and I've always said this, I was a social studies teacher in high school. Now that meant I needed to know a social studies curriculum from K to 12, because I needed to know when you're supposed to have learned U.S. history first, when you first engaged in it, when you took geometry or geography, I should say. I'm still thinking math, but when you had geography, I know when that come in the K-12 curriculum. I know when you're first exposed to world history. So being a expert in your discipline, you have to know, if you're a teacher, you have to know your curriculum from kindergarten to the 12th grade. You have to. Even if you're an 11th grade teacher, you need to know your curriculum from kindergarten to the 12th grade. So if you're a math teacher and you know your curriculum, regardless of the level you're at, Whether you know it from kindergarten to the 12th grade, we need you. In addition to that, if you are tech savvy, and the crazy part about this is we have been talking flipped classrooms, blended instruction, and online learning for at least 12 years. In fact, flipped classroom article phenomena came out 2008. And it's amazing that today we still have public school teachers who have never heard of the term flipped classroom, can't tell you what it is, have never read the research on flipped classrooms. And then 2020 came in March. And we had to flip a classroom quick. We had to transition to online learning quick. We had to transition to blended learning quick. And what happened? We ended up doing Zoom meetings, 390-block Zoom meetings a day. You can't sit in an hour-long Zoom meeting for one time without passing out. I know I can't. If I get 2 Zoom meetings in a day, I'm about to pull my hair out. So I'm looking for teachers talented enough, tech savvy enough, relevant enough to create content for a summer camp. You need to create the content before summer camp begins, and then we'll have it on a platform where parents can engage their rising 4th, 5th, and 6th graders in the next year's curriculum. What we're giving them is an advantage. Hey, when I had a rising 3rd or 4th and 5th grade student, my children, and they came to visit me for the summer, I had them set up to where they were learning math concepts for the next grade. That worked wonders for them. They never had a problem with math because they understood what was coming before it came. They were good with the concepts before it came. And now I'm offering that same advantage to students out here nationwide. The compensation is simple. You share in the profits. Let's say, for example, you earn it's $200 per camp member. And you have, let's say, 50 rising 4th graders, each paying $200 per person. You take away 40% of that. That's a check written to you as soon as the camp begins. That is sharing the profits, something the schools are just never going to do with you. They're going to give you a salary and they're going to keep the profits. So the teacher camp, the Math Advantage camp is looking for qualified teachers. Please check me out on all social media platforms. I have the program there, the position post, the application, all of that. You can find that information available for you. Please investigate that, and I'll see you in if you're willing to take this journey with me. But it's a lucrative opportunity. I wish to share the profits, but most importantly, I want to give students an advantage going into the next year. That's my goal. And that's all I really care about and wanting to do. So now we're back to article card sets. What exactly are article card sets? Article card sets are sets of cards from a single article. Therefore, one article equals one card set. So all of the cards that you're making of the notes from that particular article go into an article card set. So when I say set, I mean one article. When I say card, I mean one finding from a set. So be clear with that. But when you take my course, Mastering Literature Reviews, we dive deep into that. If I'm coaching you, we have a practice for that. And you get the videos. If you take the course, you get the course videos, which show you, which are great in and of itself. But anything we're talking about. So that you can actually create them to write the articles. So in order to do that, you have to have article card templates, and I provide you a template to make this happen. Now, it looks like a regular Word document, but trust me, it is greater than that. It is designed to help you make the cards. So before I do that, I recently put out a document called 7 Ways to Be Happy and Finished. This is designed for present doctoral students or doctoral students who are now getting their acceptances, because that's all happening now. So they're gearing up to start programs in the fall. And congratulations to you all. Or those who are seasoned but still need to find their stride. But 7 Ways to Be Happy and Finished is a document that I'm putting out there, and I'll send the link out when I put out this information online. But you'll have that information available for you. Check it out. I hope you enjoy it. It's part of a course that I actually offer and coaching that I offer called the Academic Professional Survivor Guide: How to Master Work, Home, School, and Life. So in that particular document, you'll get some key information, but also then there is a course and some coaching that goes along with that. And you can always schedule a time with me to have a free consultation. We can sit and talk for 30 minutes, figure out where you are, and you can use me as a sounding board. I can offer some advice and just see where we go from there. But I also want you to get comfortable and know me and know what I can do for you as a friend, as a coach, and things like that. So, what is an article card template? An article card template is the Word version of an article card set. It is what you will create one entire article of notes on. It is actually formatted so it can go on index cards. You have to be able to work it though, because you've got to apply the page breaks so that it can fit onto a index card once you print it out. Once you've created an article card set on the Word version using the template, then you can print it out, cut it up, or have your children cut it up, or whoever needs to cut it up, and put it on index cards so it has some type of order. I have here a bag of article card sets that have been already integrated to make a literature review. This bag is a literature review that I actually have made, full of cards and card sets that I can write at the drop of a dime. This is a card of emerging card sets that I'm currently developing on some projects that I'm working with. So you have this information, you put it on the cards, but in order to put it on the cards, to save yourself a lot of headache, you actually use the card template. The card template gives you a Word version of your document, so you can never lose it. You can just store it in the cloud, but then you can print it out and put it on the cards. If you ever lose the cards, I've loaned students my cards and never got them back. It's okay, because I got the Word document. It takes me nothing to actually print it out and do it again. So not worried about that at all. But what you're doing in this is you're also making sure that the coding that you are using is clear, it's bold, it's easy to read, easy for you to manipulate in this particular session. So article card templates are the stepping stone as a part of developing your article cards. So you have those, then it's easy to make the cards, and then you can actually have those cards to manipulate and move around. Simple process. Now, the next thing we're going to cover is I have another announcement. Along with the Math Advantage Camp for teachers, we're also putting out Math Advantage Camp ideas for parents to sign your children up and to join into this Math Advantage Camp. It is not for remediation. It is for advantage. So you're not signing us up because your children need math help, but please understand, you don't want to wait until a problem exists, because summer learning loss is real, but you don't have to wait for it to exist and become a problem for you to address it. This program gives your children an educational advantage to get ahead. And in order to understand that, I do have a commercial for you that I'm going to play right now.
I have a rising fourth grader and summer's coming. The teachers are telling me about summer learning loss, and I'm worried that my child will fall behind. We could homeschool teach this summer, but we have jobs, and we're not teachers. We could hire tutors, but those costs can be very high. I want my child to have fun, but I don't want my child to fall behind. If there's only a way to get my child some early exposure to the next grade, especially in math.
Summer learning loss is real, but it doesn't have to be your child's reality. The Math Advantage Camp is designed to provide early exposure in math for rising 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students. Through short, daily creative instructional videos, we provide a focus on skills and content to give your child an advantage in the next grade. Our 30-day curriculum is designed to provide your child with the ability to complete the camp with ease. It also allows your child to learn at their pace. What's better Your child will have access to the materials for the entire year. See the link below for more information and registration. Early registration ends March 15th.
All right, everybody, that is the Math Advantage Camp, and I encourage you all to check it out. Once again, if you follow me on social media, you all have seen my posts and things like that, but check it out. If you do not have a child of that age, but you know of parents who do, recommend them, share it, connect them to it, get them involved. It benefits us all if our children have this advantage going in, because here's what I do know. Come 8th grade, your 8th grade math scores determine how you'll be scheduled for high school. And I know this because I was a master planner at a high school. I controlled the master schedule. We didn't talk much with the counselors in middle school. They pretty much told us where they were and gave us test scores, and we used that to schedule. It's lazy, yes. Does it happen nationwide? You better believe it. But if your child does not perform well up until that stage, particularly in math, it will dictate how they are scheduled and registered in high school. And once you get put on the track, it's hard to come off of it. And yes, I said that. There's still tracking going on in public schools. So if not, we wouldn't have an AP program, we wouldn't have an IB program, we wouldn't have an honors program, we wouldn't have a general ed population program, we wouldn't have a special ed program. There's tracking going on. And you know, once you get on the track, it's hard to move up, hard to move anywhere else. You're on that track. You can always move down, but you're on that track until you graduate. And then after that, who knows what. Nonetheless, please check out the Math Advantage Camp. It is a way to get this thing going early so that you don't find yourself in that position. Now, the next topic we talk about with regards to noting is how do you enter information onto an article card template? So I'm assuming you have a couple of things. The first thing you're going to need is the PDF of the article that you're reading. It was a peer-reviewed journal article because we don't read anything less than that. So you have the peer-reviewed journal article. You've set aside your time to do your reading. You've created an environment in which you read. You begin to start reading this strategically, which means you're doing a light skim in certain areas, a medium skim in certain areas, and then a deep read in certain areas, and you're extracting out the findings of the article. So you're telling us what this author has said and suggested as truth. Now you take those highlighted pieces, because on a PDF you can actually highlight the items that you're reading. You take that item that you highlighted, you paraphrase it, put it in your own words to go into your article card template. And what I mean by put it in your own words is don't use a synonym for one of the words in a sentence. Don't cheat yourself like that. But you actually digest the information and then you put it into your own words onto your article card template, knowing still you have to cite that person. It doesn't become your idea because you paraphrase someone else's. It's still their idea and they must be cited for that. So you then rephrase those highlighted articles onto your significant statements onto your article card template, making sure you're paraphrasing your own words. And then remember to keep your codes consistent. So know that you are Article 57, the general topic, card 13, and that's where that information is. You can even give that information a subtopic so you can keep it all in order, but you'll do that way in order to keep your cards consistent when you actually do the process of moving it from the template to the actual physical card. So if you follow those simple directions, you have the PDF and you highlight that. I've actually known of students who actually do not do the PDF. I don't know what they're doing. But you get the PDF and you move that over to the actual recommended PDF page, and then you actually move it to the article card template, and from the template it'll go into your card. Very, very simple. Now, before we move forward with our final segment, I want to talk about coding information. But before I do that, I want to share with you something.
We are the Math Advantage Camp. We're looking for math instructors for rising 4th, 5th, or 6th grade students. We seek to address summer learning loss and provide early exposure to math concepts. You are asked to create innovative math content in advance and share the profits later. If interested, see the link below.
All right, so once again, pumping out this Math Advantage Camp. Hopefully you all are seeing this information. You'll find it on all of my social media. Please consider applying if you're a teacher ready to do this work. If you're a parent, please consider this extra camp as a way to get your child an advantage moving into the next grade. And if you don't,
And complete the
and your
application
neighbors do, don't worry about that either. You can just catch up with us, but make sure that you're there to take advantage of that particular camp. So with that said, the last part of this is your coding information. And I want to follow up and make sure this is clear. All of this is covered in my writing literature reviews course and coaching projects that we're doing. With the course, you get the actual videos, you go through everything. With the coaching, you actually get the videos, but you also get me. And you get me to the point where we can begin to discuss, and I can put you on target to do your work. You can actually do real work, real articles, and be prepared to publish them this way. Because I know the research. I've done work on academic professionals, those doctoral students who work part-time. And what I do know is that if you publish before you graduate or before you enter your dissertation stage, you're actually 2.8% time or 2.8 times more likely to persist through and get through your dissertation if you have published before the dissertation. If you have presented research before the dissertation, you're 5 times more likely to persist through and graduate than if you don't. Those people who go to school and just go home don't get the experience that they should in a program like this. So once again, check this out in the Mastering Literature Reviews. You can find it on the webpage, things like that. You can find it throughout my social media. But join us either in the course or the coaching. Either one is fine. You get a lot more from the coaching than you do from the course, but you get a firm foundation in the course just by taking the course along. So encoding information, once again, I want you to think about 4 sections of this card. The first section is the article number. In your code, that's the first number you'll see in the upper left-hand corner. That is the article number. So if you have 60 articles, then that article number is anywhere from article number 1 to article number 60. Now, all of them will have a specific number for the article that they represent. The next piece of this is your general topic. It's an overall topic that unites all of the articles under this particular topic of study. So you'll have the article number, the general title, and then the next code is the card number. And that's the number sequence in the article card set that this information comes from. So if you have, let's say in one article, you have 11 entries or cards, then you have card 9. So you know card 9 comes between card 8 and 10. So when you have to put them back in order, you can do that. I also use this when I put my outlines together. I may put 15-2, which means article number 15, card number 2. And that's on my outline. So when I'm writing, I know exactly what to pull when I'm doing my writing. So it works that way as well. The last part of the article card is the significant statements. And these are the paraphrased findings that you extracted from your study. So every article card should have an article number, a general topic, a card number, and then significant statements. That comprises of your article card set. So once you've mastered doing this, you can then start the process of putting together detailed outlines or theming all of this, detailed outlines, and then writing in a way that supports what you're doing with a thorough integration of research literature. This is the best way to write a literature review. This is the best way to actually get this work done. It is essentially the same thematic analysis that you would do with qualitative data you're doing with your research articles. So this is the process of reading and noting. We've covered the reading part and setting those reading routines, and we've covered the noting part. My course dives you deeper into this And my coaching actually takes you on a journey with your own work so that you can then produce some work before you graduate or before you enter your dissertation stage. Once again, if you actually publish before you enter the dissertation stage, you're that much more likely to actually complete and complete well your dissertation because you understand the process. You've been through this before. You know the publication process, you know the writing process. This is not something you're doing to pass a class. You're doing this to get a skill so that you can take this from here on further. Thank you all, guys. I plan to do 30 minutes, but of course, topics like these, I can't always do the 30 minutes. But remember this, we're here to help you. It's www.myadvantage.org. You can also contact me directly, and I can send you a time where we can schedule time to talk. I offer free consultations, a 30-minute talk, and we can see where you are in the process and then perhaps how we could possibly help you. And if we can help you, we're brave enough to say that. If you are pretty much in a good place on your own, then we can say, hey, you're on the right course, consider these 2 things or 3 things, and you can move further. I just want you to graduate and be proud of the work you did, and then go move the field forward. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you. Thank you for attending, and I look forward to seeing you later. Bye now.